Tonight, we are going to win the damn weeknight. It's not the weekend yet, but we're gonna get ready for it. It's a Thursday night here tonight, the night I'm recording this, and I am making chicken enchiladas. And it all is gonna start with a little roux that I'm gonna make, a little bechamel that I can use, a cheese sauce essentially that I'm gonna pour over the top of the enchiladas. So we're gonna do the cheese sauce stuff first. It's gonna be going in the oven. I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350, and we are going to get going making something that is creamy, delicious, and has just a ton of flavor to it. So let's get started making a quick roux here, which is I'm just gonna use 3 tablespoons of butter and get that going. And then I'm gonna throw in 3 tablespoons of flour. I am going to use 2.5 tablespoons of flour because I like this just to be a little bit more on the runny side. So for the amount that I'm making, that's gonna fit in this pan, I don't want to use as much flour. So I've got my butter melted down as much as I can, or as much as I want. I could do more if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna put in my flour now. We're gonna cook down this flour so we don't have a raw flour taste. I think everybody says that on every cooking video. Don't want to have raw cooked flavor. Don't want to taste that raw flour in there. Raw cooked flavor, raw cooked flavor, raw cooked flavor. You don't want to taste uncooked flour. So I'm gonna let this cook just for a couple minutes. Then we're gonna get to the fun part, which is adding our liquid. And for what I'm doing here, I'm gonna do this a little bit different because I want to impart a certain amount of flavor in this. I'm going to use chicken stock as my liquid because I'm going to add a ton of cheese to this to make it super, super cheesy. So now I'm going to switch over to the whisk and I'm going to add chicken stock to both the stove and the pot. And I'm going to add just a little bit at a time here as I go. I don't want it to be lumpy or, get grainy. So this is warm chicken stock too that I'm adding as I go. That helps that it's already warmed. I use better than bouillon with water, and so I've heated it up in the microwave to get it so it incorporates really well, and that also then makes everything warm. Warmer is better. Just trying to get it to a desired consistency that I want before I start adding my cheese, which is, like I said, fairly liquidy. Okay, I've changed my mind. I am gonna use some dairy base in this. I've just got some whole whipping cream, so I go from no dairy to whole whipping cream dairy. Just didn't like the way that looked, and I think as I was doing it, I thought, you know what, this is gonna have an overpowering flavor of chicken stock, and I want there to be a creaminess about this for everybody to enjoy. So now I've got a good, nice liquid base going here. I feel pretty good about it. Give it just a little bit of tang. I'm gonna add about 1/3 cup of sour cream. Sour cream. I always think you add sour cream to anything, even desserts. It just makes things better. After it gets nice and in there and all melted and all incorporated and all good, we're gonna start adding some cheese. I've got a couple of things. I've got some shredded medium cheddar and some shredded sharp white cheddar. I'm gonna be adding those in just in small batches as we go here. So I'm gonna start with the shredded white cheddar. I'm just gonna do about a handful, maybe about a cup or so. I'm gonna let that get all melted down before I add any more. Takes a little bit, but if you go too much, your sauce will just have a real grainy texture to it if you do too much at one time, I found anyway. Maybe I'm doing something else wrong, I don't know. So I'm gonna add the rest of my white stuff. I've got some more shredded cheese reserved that I'm gonna use inside the mixture as well, inside the meat mixture that I roll up into the tortillas. So then just for grins, I'm gonna add some yellow cheddar. I shredded all this just before this part. You can buy pre-shredded cheese if you like. I just happen to like the texture, flavor, taste of just grinding my own cheese. Just gonna keep incorporating our cheese until we get the cheesy goodness that we want out of this. We'll add the rest of that. And then we'll give it a taste and see where we're at in terms of cheesiness. The cheesiness factor is the most important factor. Of course, we're gonna have cream cheese and more shredded cheese as we mix everything together. Now, what I like to do, I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more cheese because nobody ever said, God, I wish that had less cheese in it. Just won't happen. Oops. So we'll do one more handful. We'll put that in there. We'll let that do its thing. And then the final step to this, 2 steps, is I'm gonna add some green chilies. My family is not a huge fan of chilies invading their food, but they do add in part just a nice amount of flavor if you do just a few of them. So I'm gonna add probably, I don't know, I put in 2 tablespoons of green chilies. I think you could probably do a lot more. I am also included in my family part, doesn't like a lot of chilies in their stuff, so I'm part of my family, so that's me as well. Now we've got that all mixed up. I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of taco seasoning to that here in just a little bit, but for now, I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna put the lid on this, and then I'm gonna turn my attention over here. I'm gonna make up the tortilla part. Here we go. Okay, so this part is super easy. And I make it even easier because I buy a pre-shredded rotisserie chicken from H-E-B. That's what I'm using here. You can buy a rotisserie chicken and shred it. You can rotisserie your own chicken. You can roast your own chicken. You can do all the fun stuff that you want to do with chicken. If you desire to do fun stuff with chicken, you can do that. I like to make it simple because it's a weeknight, right? So some of these bigger chunks, I'm gonna make them into slightly smaller chunks. For the most part, it's good, but I want a good clean bite when I bite into my enchilada. So we'll make sure that these are all, oh, that's a big one. That's a big old bird. It's a big bird. Oh, wow, my goodness. My goodness. So a lot of white meat in this one. I prefer it when I get some that has a good mixture of dark meat in it, but hey, you get what you get. Okay, so those are the big pieces. I'll kind of put the rest in here. Just check for any other mondos, any behemoths that I don't necessarily want. Good. We are in good shape there. So next part, pretty easy. Take any taco seasoning that you like. I'm gonna use Hardcore Carnivore Tex-Mex, which is just a good chili Tex-Mex seasoning. And then I pretty much just eyeball it. Probably a couple tablespoons went in there. Probably more than a couple tablespoons went in there. So then before I do anything else, I wanna make sure that the seasoning itself kind of coats everything, because I don't want it to clump up with like a clump of cream cheese or something like that, right? Then you just bite into a big old dust. As good as that Tex-Mex, Hardcore Carnivore Tex-Mex is, I don't think you want to bite into just a big clump of it on its own. Then you're just going to take one little package of cream cheese. Just divide it up to make it a little bit easier to incorporate. Fling stuff around, it's important that you really create a mess that you have to clean up when you're done. You know, I like a good messy countertop. I softened this cream cheese, by the way. It's been sitting out on the counter for a little while this afternoon, just getting soft. I'm starting to feel like there is going to be a need for my fingers to get into this. It's coming, folks. My hands are clean. they're gonna have to get into this. But first, before they do, let's add our cheese. Be generous with your cheese. This is what's gonna make your, outside of the sauce, this is gonna make your chicken enchiladas really hum with flavor. Again, see, look at the counter. I wouldn't feel like I was doing a tremendous job cooking for my family if I didn't make a terrible mess. Oh yeah. You gotta get in there. Give it some squeezing. Make sure it's all good and incorporated. Again, you want a fair bite. Everybody gets a fair bite of every enchilada that they have in my house. Nobody gets a bite that's just all cream cheese. Nobody gets a bite that's all chicken. Certainly nobody gets clumps of seasoning. Right? All right. Once this is all goody good, and I feel like it's well incorporated, the next thing that I do is I wash my hands. Then we're gonna roll. Let's get these things rolling. Okay, get yourself a pan, any pan. I'm gonna do this weeknight, throwing stuff away night. I'm gonna give it a good little coating of Pam on there. Make things a little bit easier later on. You just take yourself a tortilla. Now, you don't have to do a special burrito roll on these because these are gonna get baked. And it's okay if stuff comes sliding out of these. And I wanna make sure that we have a good amount in here. And then, oops, I can't believe the dog's aren't here to help. Then I'm just gonna roll. And then these are gonna get packed in pretty tight. Packed in pretty tight. Roll them up good. I'm not gonna be able to get 8 in here, but I might be able to get 6 in here. We're gonna do 6. I'll show you how we're gonna do 6. You can probably guess how we're gonna do 6 if you can see the pan. 6 is enough for everybody in my family that lives here to have 2, and these are big, so that ought to be plenty. And we pack that last bad boy right in there. Now, we've got that. Everything looks lovely. Let's take our wonderful sauce that we made just a little bit ago, and we are going to distribute the sauce in a haphazard fashion onto the enchiladas. And just use all of it, come on. Just use all of it. All right, we get that done. Again, make sure you're being as messy as you possibly can. All right, bam. Then you know what? More cheese. More cheese. Okay, once you've got an adequate amount of cheese on there, what probably is more than adequate amount of cheese on there, you're gonna take this, you're gonna put it in your oven, you're preheated for 350, anywhere, I'd say 35, 45 minutes. Check them. If it's nice and bubbly and looking like it should, you are done. Pull it out and enjoy. I'll be back. I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. That's some cheesy goodness. All right. Not even sure how to attack this. Sage is. Sage knows how to attack it. Up close and personal. Sage. Sage, this is Grandpa's video. Then we gotta get some of the goodness on there. Oh yeah.